welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 190. I'm Graham. I'm here with Luke, Richie, and Cody, and we have Joey Bats today. You may know him as Stripper TJ on Instagram. We haven't really gone into what you have yet. We've kind of been all over the place this pre-show, but I assume you have a TJ.
Yeah, it's a TJ.
Mm-hmm. What's all going on with it? Let's start there.
I kind of went for the whole like bouncer theme because it was like, okay, so I was in the middle of building mine and wanting to buy a chassis.
Mm-hmm.
So my idea was to get a TJ and a bouncer together because I love the whole just no shits given, just give it gas and just hold on.
Yep.
And I was in the middle of building what I had, and then my tub was completely gone. So I found a tub for sale. My frame was good. And then I found a guy, he had like a half cage put together. So I was like, oh, he had all tube. So I'm like, oh, this is going to save me a lot of money. I'll take the trip. I went and got the tube, got the tub, got the chassis. And then I kind of just put that Jeep and what I had together. And that's what I got right now.
Hell yeah. That thing sounds fucking sick, but let's take it back a few years and kind of start off with like, how the hell did you even get into wheeling and who are you?
Yeah, so my name's Joe. Go by Stripper on the Insta. But I started out with my father. My dad was big into like drag racing, hot rods, cars, and he was building a Bronco out of, I don't know why, but it became a Bronco into just a complete mud truck. And then after that, I started driving, and then my first Jeep was a Cherokee. And it
God
seems
damn
like
it. I keep
always.
hoping that we're going to find someone that doesn't have a fucking Cherokee, but
We've had a couple, but it's rare.
yeah, and that's the funny thing. It just every vehicle I owned was a Cherokee because they were just cheap like before COVID. I was able to find one for $600, beat it for a year, and then just junk it and go get a new one.
yeah, and then COVID happened and suddenly the $600 ones are $4,000.
Yeah, and it's not fun.
No. So, he was building the
They're
Bronco.
classics now. They're classics.
You got the Cherokee.
Yeah, my dad was building a Bronco mud truck, and it became the mud truck to just a complete like rock crawler thing. Just a complete. We used to call it like a jungle gym as kids, because it was just a complete jungle gym. And I went from that to owning Cherokees to like just basically going from what I was learned as a kid was like the whole off-roading world. Like we all thought, oh yeah, on the weekends let's go mudding, and then like Monday came, like pull up to school in like a shitbox Cherokee, and we all thought that was like the coolest thing.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
Hell yeah.
those were the fucking days.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
go ahead.
No, you're good. Go.
You know, like, go talk to the chicks, grab some pallets, go down to the old, we had like this dam that was shut down, and we would have these big fucking bonfires back there, and, you know, Richie had this, clapped out second gen that we would just stack the pallets up to the roof on, so we would go drop them off at the fire site, go mudding, and then like Friday after school and work, man, we were having a big old bonfire and wheeling real hard.
Super fucking hard. We'd go into school the next day, go, oh yeah.
Richie, you sound like you're talking through a sock.
Shit. Huh?
You sound like you're talking through a sock.
I'm sorry.
There you
That
go.
much better.
I'm not.
Take the sock out of your mouth, Jesus.
Those were just great. Sorry,
Dude,
go ahead.
I miss those days because you mentioned how you guys you'd go down to a dam. We had this field that was like you had to go like half a mile into the woods on this like dirt trail to get to, and then just open up to this field that a buddy of ours owned, and it was sick because we had this massive fire pit, but then around the field was like this little like mudding ring, like you could just kind of do like laps around, and everything was cool until a buddy of ours rolled his truck and flung his girlfriend out, and then we never went back because then the cops got involved. But good times.
Yeah.
we would load so many pallets into the bed of my
Sock.
truck.
Get another sock.
Oh my god, I don't know what's wrong.
That's better now. Go ahead. Try again.
We would load so many pallets into the bed of my truck that I would look like a fucking box truck, and then we'd be splashing through all the ditches.
Yeah. So this dam, right, was like it had a ring of dirt roads around it that would like lead off to, whatever small town, because it was in between like three different small towns. And there was mud puddles on the side, and like you could tell where idiots like us were going and, putting jeeps all the way off the road to like get an actual mud pit. And then there was also like a couple of little trails and stuff off to the side that you could go up. And when we finally started actually growing a pair and like trying to drive up to the actual dam itself, because the way that this dam was, it like was a natural-ish lake, and then they just kind of like concrete blocked off with a big, I'm gonna say like a 4-foot pipe coming down to the lower reservoir. So we were driving up to the top because that was actually like a Roush Creek Blue for a trail. So when you don't know shit nor fuck about wheeling, that's cool as fuck, and you're Billy Badass for hitting that.
Good
And
time.
all of those illusions disappeared when we went to Ma Bell. But to throw it back to you, Joey, did you was the TJ the first Jeep that you kind of went off the deep end on, or did you make the mistake of a 1-ton Cherokee?
No, so what happened was I had a Cherokee, and I at the time I knew nothing about like off-roading. I just thought, "Oh yeah, it's a stock Cherokee. This thing can go anywhere, not have an issue." And then growing up, just starting to watch videos, just starting to like actually grow into it more, it was kind of like, "Oh, I can do that if I got lockers." And then it was like, "Oh, let's just do lockers." And then it came to a point that there was nothing left in my Cherokee. So I'm like, oh, I need something with the frame. So I went out and got a TJ.
Makes sense. Now, with this TJ, like, give us the rundown. Because it ain't your normal TJ at this point. How'd you end
No,
up?
it's not. I started with like a 4-inch lift on 37s, and it was absolutely amazing. Didn't have an issue. And then it was like kind of like, I don't want to say it was like competition between like me and my woman, but like it was because she has a Cherokee. And she's like, "Oh, I want tons." And then me and her kind of like grew together, if that sounds right. Like we both were getting
Yeah.
to see time at the same time. So it was kind of like, "Oh, like if you're going to do tons, why don't we do tons together?" kind of thing.
Because tons are fucking terrible to do.
Uh, Dude, don't get me wrong. So I'm from a small town in New Jersey. So
I'm sorry.
if you knew any type of wheeling in New Jersey, it's nothing fun. You're more worried about cops and game wardens coming after you. So like they're all side by side trails. So like when I did go to tons, it was like I'm just taking down trees the whole time. Couldn't fit, was not fun at all.
I totally get that. Now, just from scrolling through your pictures here, because I'm e-stalking you.
No, you're go ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't need permission here. I'm gonna e-stalk you either way. Um, parasocial relationship or whatever the term is for that. So it looks like you're rocking old school Kingpin, or
Yeah. Yeah, I got a kingpin front, 14-volt rear.
the OG classic combo. Any goodies done in there?
Just full hydro, gears, chrome moly shafts. Nothing, nothing too big. I'm the kind of like guy. I like to keep it simple because if like you do simple, it's less problems. But if you just keep it like the normal, like you really don't get issues.
We had a joke running around for a while of, because I'm sure you know of Colin Bates. But after Colin's rig was kind of like big in our wheeling sphere, Graham's rig and my rig ended up very similar but very different. So we just were calling everything cookie cutter, and like even the smaller tire guys were following our old small. Excuse me, our old
Motherfucker.
small tire recipe.
Yeah. And like it's crazy that you say like small tires because like I did like the whole 35s. I went to 37s and I had a set of 37s and I felt like I was going everywhere. Sorry. It feels like I was going everywhere like guys with 40s, 42s were going. It's like, do you really need the bigger tires? And then it was like, oh, I'm on tons. Why not?
Yeah, I agree to that because it's almost like there's like you can make it work for the most part until you go to field and forest. I think that's when like that style of wheeling is where I was like, damn, like you actually need 40-inch tires to make it through some of these fucking Volkswagen bus sized holes. Like,
Yeah.
like you're just going to like the front of your hood won't even reach up on top of these tires to clear out of it and shit like that. But I do agree completely. I do feel like for me at least, like a cage is my limiting factors before tires is right now, just because like to a certain degree still, but yeah, Luke's not wrong, and that's why I said son of a bitch before, was because if it fucking works, like I'm watching my three idiot friends, Graham, Luke, and Colin, go through these processes already, right? Like they've already been through the whole Dana 30, Dana 44, or 825 or 88 lifestyle, right? So why not follow the ones who like Luke? Like I literally cookie cuttered the fuck out of Luke with mine. But
Yeah,
guess
yours
what? He
is
did it,
literally in between. If you were to put into AI my suspension and Graham's suspension, yours would literally be what got spit out as the in between.
literally. And it's like, why not, right? And it's honestly, it's kind of like a nice like kudos to these boys, because it's like, hey, it almost is rewarding in a way of like they went through the trials and tribulations of it, so that way like they walked so I could run, and it's pretty fucking cool, and I'm definitely thankful for it. I know that haven't said it in a while, but like fuck you guys, but thank you. My
and it's sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say because I know my shit would still be on 36-inch IROCs and like extended control arms before, like if I really hadn't met y'all, like honestly, or I'd be on Wilinks or something stupid.
It's for
At
everyone.
least it's
Everyone's got a
probably-
catalyst. Somebody like pushed them, right?
What were you about to say, Richie?
Oh, I said at least it'd still be wheeling.
Damn,
Oh.
that's true.
That's not true at all. We don't know.
You're right.
don't
I'd
know that.
probably. I don't even
You would
know
have
what
bent
I'd
your
be
stock
into now.
control arms and been like, "Nope, I hate Jeeps."
Whoa! I was off those stock control arms very quickly, so at least I would have been on. I think there were zones at the time, but still, fuck you. All right, damn.
The part I find funny though is like I wish I had spent some more time on small tires, but
No, you don't. Be real.
they're yes and no, right? Because like the 1 tons are great and all, but my Jeep was a fucking riot when it was together and functional. It just blew the track bar mount at the axle apart too many fucking times, and then at the frame, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. 1 tons are going under it.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got that. Like when I exploded my Dana 30, which had never exploded before, but it like fully just killed everything. Yeah.
Wasn't it like a broken truss, a broken
yeah, the truss was
ring and
fucked.
pinion?
The upper control arm mount ripped off, the ring and pinion chipped, because I drove it around and I was like, that's a weird noise, and then I popped it and it just chipped one tooth. And it's just everything was messed up. So I was like, yep, I have the 50 in the driveway. You're going in now.
We call that the Yukon special around these parts.
The Yukon
One
special.
chip tooth.
Oh.
Yeah, don't look at my Dana 60. It's missing like there's a chunk missing out of one gear here, a little chunk out of the opposite side of this gear here, and then like I put the pattern back on it with some grease, and it's like, oh, the pattern's mint. The gear set's just coming apart. Fuck me.
But I will say I completely understand that whole like you have like it's not even a competition. It's a tough way of putting it, but like you watch your friends like build theirs to a certain point. They hit certain obstacles, and like right now, the perfect example would be would be Graham and Luke, where like they just kind of want to keep outdoing each other, which is sick because they're both propelling each other further and further into like harder obstacles or like different lines or just different shit. But beforehand, especially at like this point, when you're at 35s and if you're open or whatever and your one buddy's on 33s and he sees the other guy one shot something, then he's like, damn, looks like I'm going to get lockers or 35s. And that time of like battling with your buddies, it's such a good time. It's so much fun.
That's the motivator. That's the reason people
And
like most
now
people
it's
have
stupid.
something like that going on with somebody else, right? And I think it's incredibly apparent with the Runs Prime guys. I mean, you've seen their rigs just like shoot up in performance the past year because it's just like it's them one-upping each other, and it's really fun to watch because they're just all their rigs have come a long way from when we met them almost a year ago at this point.
Yeah,
like
healthy competition is the best way to grow.
mhm.
I think bullying and competition
motivator, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily
is a
bullying.
part
I mean,
of healthy competition.
it's just when you have somebody who's like similar to your level, and you can look at each other, and you're at similar levels, like in the hobby or the sport, and you're like, oh well, he's doing that, and it's doing a little better. I got to see if I can like figure out how to make mine like just blow his out of the water in that respect, so then you can talk shit. And I think that's a huge part of really not just off-roading, just in general, like having somebody who is at your level or maybe like a little ahead of you sometimes to like push you to get yourself like on their heels or in front of them. Like it's the biggest motivator for a lot of things. Everything you do, you should try to find somebody who you can push towards, right?
Yeah, Logan's fucking terrible now.
Yeah, you really pushed him.
It's going both ways there because he was like, yeah, well, don't be a bitch. The nose is coming off. Well, fuck.
Yep.
There goes the nose. And then 2 weekends later, it's leaving to go to Shop Kids for rewiring.
Mhm.
That was terrible. But he's super helpful, and like we've got our healthy competition going on. I couldn't imagine competing with my. I think you guys are engaged. I'm not sure if you said wife, but yeah. That would drive me up the wall though, because like I have to like sleep with her or like next to her. So,
Morgan's got a more kick-ass rig than you.
If she were to commit herself, I would not doubt that she would be like one of the best drivers you've ever seen. It would be hilarious because it just
and she'd
would
be
not
so
fit.
soft-spoken about it too. It'd be so funny.
I'm trying, dude. She wants a JK now.
Oh, those are great platforms. She'd kick your ass. Nose
And
cut off or not.
I'm like, okay, cool. Let's finish up your school stuff here so you can like start making.
Wait a second. Does Rob still own that JK with the 4-liter in it? Remember he had one way back when. Honestly, you should ask, because if he still has that, fucking why not, right? I know you hate 4-liters, right? But it's better than a 3.6. So
I was just gonna go buy a Copart 3.8 and like unfuck it because they're not that hard to unfuck at this point.
Just
like,
buy Oshawa's. Isn't that thing total out?
I don't think he would be happy if you said that
he's
out
still
loud
on a
too many
massive
times.
road trip. I think
I'm
he's still out
kidding.
in the West.
So, to tie back to your point, Joey, though, it's kind of funny now. Like, I've hit a point where I'm actually excited to go and hang with the small tire guys for like a day or two, because Richie's bringing the Comanche to the Web Wheelers Ball, which I know you're coming to. But yeah,
hell yeah,
Hell yeah.
fuck yeah, that's fun.
I've only been saying this for like the
No,
last.
not you,
Joey.
bitch. I'm talking about Joey.
Oh,
I know you were going, man. Shut up.
I mean, it's shocking because you don't wheel, but we
Hell
know
no.
Joey does, so like, it's cool.
I get hurt when we go on trips and I say I'm going, and then everyone's surprised that I'm there. Like, bitch, I've been saying I'm coming.
No, I knew you were going. I was just surprised because I was gonna mention it with him being so close to Jersey. Which I'm wondering, have you ever wheeled with Jason before? Jason, is it Cruz? No.
No, not
No.
Cruz.
What's his
Ramsey.
Ramsey? Yeah. Have you wheeled with Jason Ramsey before?
No.
Jason
Really?
White Jeep.
He's a party. If
I'm
you get a
surprised.
chance, you should go wheeling with that motherfucker.
Well,
What's
he
his
will.
what would be his Instagram?
That
99 white XJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't get out often, but whenever he gets out, he puts that thing on its side, on its roof. He's got like a
Is he coming this year?
yeah, he's coming.
Hell yeah. We can always get him out when we're going to Roush.
Yep. But he's got like I forget what it is. It's an aluminum LS of some sort out of a vat.
It's a 5.7. It's a 5.7.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got the LS1. And he just likes to party. Like there's no filter on anything he does, and
Hell yeah.
the rig just works. It's got like double cages at this point.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a nice build though. It's a really sick rig.
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised that you've never wheeled with him. Being in Jersey and then visiting Roush, like I feel like that would have been like
You would have at least like passed him in passing.
Yeah.
But
He is also kind of a hermit.
True.
Unless you're playing Tarkov.
Well, not now. Now that with his new job, I feel, the other day he was like, "Yeah, I was in Iowa." It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing in Iowa? He's like, "Oh, work." Oh, okay. It's like, I was in like some milk plant or something. They're making bottles or like something crazy.
He called me and he's like, "Hey, I'm in Tennessee. Where's like Jonestown, Tennessee compared to you?" Jace, that's 3.5 hours away, and I have to work this entire week. Otherwise, I fucking would. But like,
maybe he thinks all states are the size of Jersey. You know what I mean? It's kind of like in Massachusetts. They're like, "Oh, you're coming out to Mass?" Like, dude, I'll meet you. It's like, okay, but like somebody lives in Texas. They're like, "Oh, where in Texas?" Like, bro, that's 7.5 hours. I don't think we're hanging out.
that was like Mike Eisenberg. He was like, he was like somewhere near the Cape. I was like, that's the other side of Massachusetts.
Yeah, but still, like that's only an hour and a half. Like worse, you know what I
No,
mean? Like,
it's more than that. It's more than that. I do that drive quite a bit.
oh,
I don't
quit
go
being a
that
bitch.
far. It's like 2 hours or more.
Either way.
Yeah.
I got enough stuff to do. I can't take 2 hours to drive one way.
What day are you planning on showing up for the Web Wheelers Ball?
I plan on coming the whole time. Because it doesn't help that we actually get married on the 28th. So it's like
shit.
it's gonna be like I think it's right. What's the date of the Web Wheelers Ball?
The 30th or the 29th?
on.
So we get married September
30th.
28th.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so you have a month.
Yeah.
Good.
So, but we definitely plan on coming for the whole thing.
We're
thought
gonna
you were about,
go ahead, Richie.
I thought you were about to say the Web Wheelers Ball was your fucking honeymoon.
Yeah,
I did too. I was like, oh, you're coming the day after the wedding. That's commitment.
Oh man, I definitely would, but she would still kill me.
She would.
Yeah. Quickest marriage and divorce I've seen. No, but either way, that's second. It's kind of cool because like a lot of times that when we have people on, like it's always nice to hear that we're gonna be meeting them soon. Because like I don't know if we've met you in other events or whatnot, but it's nice to like to be able to like reminisce and then be like, all right, well yeah, let's have you on again because this was a sick time. Because we can't just keep having Curtis on every time we go to Roush. So
we haven't had Curtis on in a while.
Like cheese.
But every time we go to Roush, we have him on. What the fuck? Y'all don't listen, I swear.
Every major wheeling trip that he goes on, he comes on.
Yeah,
so like
he's
that's
funny.
2 a year.
He's funny because you can get him so wound up over nothing.
Yes. I hope that you like getting shouted at if you end up wheeling with us, because
Please do, because sometimes the shirt will come off too.
Oh
yeah. If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna have to match your energy, and no one wants
please
to
do.
see
I
that.
match energy really, really quick.
Oh no.
I feel like this is just turning into a trip for guys to fucking be in the woods together shirtless.
Wait, you were
Isn't
going
that
for
every
other
wheeling trip?
Yeah, I was gonna say you go for other reasons. Weird.
Um, but like right now, the plan that I've got going on is I'm gonna spend all of Friday hanging out with Kish, and we're gonna go and see what that Comanche can do. Couple of notable ones in there, probably like Yellow Jacket. I don't know if Kish has Shoot the Moon in him. We'll have to see towards the end of the
Oh,
day.
I mean, depends on
probably
how
does.
fucked up the body is. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
I am 100% okay sacrificing the Comanche on Friday.
oh my
Um,
god. Okay, fuck it. It looks Rock
it's
Creek.
the
We're going
it's the
get-
open front that scares me here, Kish, because
You can,
after
you can fix that real quick.
I ain't got the time nor money, boyo.
to get
Just
you a
bring
locker.
bring a Spartan there. Buy a Spartan. We'll put it in there. It's easy.
Wait, let's.
I ain't got the money.
We can
I'll
figure.
find you
respect
one.
that.
I'll
Yeah, I was
find
gonna
you
say, I
one.
think we can find you one for pretty cheap, for like $100 or something. Wait,
Somebody's
actually,
got a
I might
Spartan
have
locker.
somebody.
Give it to this dude.
I got you.
Hell,
Give me
any
a second.
locker, any
I
lunchbox.
got you.
If the plan's to really fucking do a locker at Roush, I'm okay with that. Just I ain't got the fucking money right now.
We'll make it happen.
I understand that. But yeah, Friday we're gonna go just do some big chillin' stuff. I want to get you on like crawling for cops because you haven't wheeled a manual of your own in fucking forever. Run some Yellow Jacket. I can't wait to shout at you about being fucking terrible and how many times are you gonna stall this piece of shit because you wouldn't let me live down my 2 stalls for the entire fucking weekend with fuel pressure problems at AOP.
Whoa. I busted your balls once about it.
Each incident, yes. So that was 2 times.
I let you live it down.
Either way, I suppose we should probably ask that question. Are you auto gang or manual gang?
Oh man, it's weird you say that because I just went from a manual to an automatic,
We
and
got a
I
traitor in our
regret
midst.
doing it.
Thank God. Somebody's got to say that out loud.
I regret doing it
Swap it
because
back. Swap
my
it back.
my favorite thing was getting up on a ledge and just trying to catch second to third to fourth and just seeing where it would take me.
Richie,
My-
high opinion or low opinion?
It don't matter.
Thank you.
It
Yes, it
don't
does.
matter.
Oh
No,
no,
it
never
don't.
mind. I'm thinking gear set. My bad. Sorry.
Yep, Cody's getting himself off in the weeds again.
Yep.
My favorite thing as of late has been I like to just put it in first and like just put a finger on the steering wheel and take my feet off the pedals and just see where it ends up because that is so much fun in my rig. It should not do it as well as it does, but like have you ever been to AOP?
Yes.
All right, so you know 41. And like I swear to God, this has got to be the most fucking commonly talked about trail on this podcast or George Winters. But either way, Richie and I were going up that and like I just took my hands off of the steering wheel, took my feet off of the pedals and was just sitting back, relaxing, drinking a adult soda. Well, the Jeep was just going up 41 while we were waiting on the Waltz crawlers and Runs Prime guys to catch up. And Richie looks over at me and he goes, I forgot you knew how to fucking crawl. And, you know, it's just enjoyable. It's even more fun when you're crawling in second and you don't have your feet on the floor. Just waiting to see what the rig does. Autos are, like, I get it, but I also just, like, don't care. Not to be rude. What was the thought process with the auto swap though?
So the whole honestly, it might sound a little crazy. I did it just to try and slow me down because I couldn't leave Roush or any park without going through 2 to 3 drive shafts.
That
sounds like a problem.
Like to the point that I was just beating drive shafts and nothing was holding up. And I was at a stock case too. Still am on a stock case.
Okay.
That poor thing.
So I can kind of get that a little bit now. But are you sure you don't have some type of like a binding problem going on? And I'm not trying to like sit 500 plus miles away and like diagnose your shitbox, but
No, not at all. It just any type, any c- like, sorry, anything or any type of drive shaft I would buy was kind of like on a rush order. So I think maybe like whoever built it really didn't take the time, and it was also like I was just buying shit drive shafts.
that
Well, where
makes
were they
sense.
blowing up? What was like your weak point on them? Was it like
Weak point was probably the U joint.
That sounds to me like your suspension's doing something where it's changing the angle of the
Both-
case.
Is it both the fronts
Or
and
not
the
the
rears?
case.
I did break the last Roush trip. I was out with Tommy and his twin stick crawlers, and I broke the double cartilage at my on my rear. And it wasn't even like the double cartilage; it was just the bolt that holds the double cartilage to the other joint, if you know what I mean, like right in the center.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
the
at the
centering
yoke?
ball.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
well, if it's at the yoke, that could just be those stupid things loosening. I had issues with my front because it would just always come loose, and they would like it was just the little tiny 8 or 10 mil bolts that go through there, and it just wasn't enough clamping force. Like it would just no matter what I did, they would always loosen up, and I'd always lose one, and it would spit the drive shaft or fuck it up, and I just put a flange on it that fixed that. So if
Fuck,
your
that
if your
reminds me, I
failure
have to call
point
Tony.
is those little bolts, just put bigger bolts that clamp it down more. That would be my suggestion. That's what I just did with
Yeah.
a buddy's rig too, because he was doing the same thing. I think it's probably pretty common if you're running stock output and beating the crap out of it. It's probably just loosening them up. That would be my first like gut reaction to that sort of break if it's consistent breaking there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the constant right at the drive shaft. My biggest upgrade this winter is going to be probably the behemoth case.
No, nice. Yeah, that'll do
Ooh.
you well. Those cases are good.
Sweet. Other thing that I like, your rig's not street driven, right?
It is.
Oh, never mind. Fuck me.
We love
No,
that.
no, it is registered and insured. New Jersey doesn't even know what I own. Um, it's just the typical insurance. It's just still a 97 TJ, what they
Yep.
think. But really the only time I drive it on the road is from my house to my shop and at Tennessee for the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. That's the only reason why I keep insurance on it.
Yeah, makes
Yeah, I
sense.
mean, I get that. My shitbox is still registered and like I can drive it around, but my next set of changes that I'm going to make is probably going to be 1350 front and then a um single U joint rear. So just get rid of the double carded. Yeah, you got me all fucked up. It's not cartilage.
Carden. It's Carden.
Yeah, double cardan joint, and just run a single 1350 off the case because I don't straight drive it enough for that to be a problem. And I'm kind of over it. Like, I'll just build a cheap drive shaft and fucking send it with quarter wall.
I found some great fucking square tubing at Logan Steel, Luke, for you.
Bro, I'll run a square front drive shaft. I do not give a fuck. And now, like, because of the whole front end rework, it's actually got a really nice little pocket that it rides in, so it doesn't rub the frame rail anymore. So that's super cool. Who would have known that moving the bolts from the bottom of the track bar mount to the top of the track bar mount would do something like that?
Who would have thought?
Not me. So
So do you regret doing the swap from standard to auto, or?
I don't want to say I regret doing it. I do like because I did the AW4 swap, but I did it to like with no TCM. So I
Mhm.
kind of just did it off of a switch.
Gotcha.
you
Um,
got a manual essentially.
Basically, yeah. So it's just like first is just everything, or first to second, and I don't mind it. The only time I did like it is when I got completely schmacked, and the woman had to drive the rig out for me.
Happens.
What?
I said that happens.
Yeah, so that was the only happy part because she gets to drive it too. But I'm probably it all depends on what I'm feeling. I do like the automatic because I do have a 5.3 in a Cherokee right now that's probably going to go into stripper, and that has an automatic, so I'm probably just going to keep
I
that.
thought you liked your 4.6.
So I like the stroker, I do. The only issue I'm having is it overheats a whole lot, like a whole lot, and I keep going through plugs.
Weird.
Are you running
Spark
stock
plugs?
Or are you running better plugs?
I tried running stock plugs to feel it out, and then I tried running better plugs. It just any between plug I have on it or in it, I'm still burning out.
Are you fouling them out, or is it detonating? What are the plugs looking like when you're pulling them?
Burnt.
Okay, so
Lean or
are they
rich?
wet? That's what I'm saying. Are they wet?
Yeah,
Are they kind of
that's the
gray?
thing.
Like,
It's not like I don't want to say they're wet. Sometimes they're wet. It
So
it all depends on my riding style of the day.
Mhm.
So I can go a whole week on plugs, but then once I get home, it's like you can just hear the thing begging for help.
And so that's kind of odd to me because I'm trying to figure out how a stroker
Well,
would
are you
change
running?
the.
Are you? What kind of injectors are you running? Sorry to cut you off, Cody.
No, it's okay. I'm just talking out loud at that point.
Which it's funny you say that because when I bought it and like the packet it came with, it wants stock injectors.
That
It
sounds
wants,
wrong.
which that's what I was thinking too. It sounded completely wrong.
Because I
But
know
I was going
everything I
off of the
looked at.
book.
Yeah, everything I looked at when I was, rest in peace, the stroker build. I'm sorry for anybody who was interested in seeing where that went. It's still at the machine shop, and I'm not going to get it because they, unless they call me, and then I'll go get it. But they haven't called me, so it's probably gone. Everything I was reading was saying to use like the 20-pound Mustang injectors was like the thing to do. That's what
Okay.
everybody said. I don't know if that'll help you if it's already running rich. If that's if the plugs being fouled means that. I always joke that 4.0s don't need new spark plugs. RJ's heard it. I think everybody Buckley's heard it. A couple of our buddies have heard it because they're always like, "Oh, we got to change all this stuff." I was like, this motor has spark plugs that were in it for the past 6 years, and I've never changed them, and it still does fine. The only thing that changes, in my experience, has been like the fuel economy, but I don't care because it's just a off-road rig. Like, it still fires, it still does things.
Actually, it's more than an off-road rig at this point.
You're right. It just sits in somebody's yard that isn't mine. It's just an ornament. It's not my ornament though. It's somebody else's.
Oh God, you're terrible. I
Yep.
hate it here. But you're not wrong with that. The thing that I'm wondering about is if it's doing both. Like if you have a tuning issue where it wants to be leaner in some spots and richer in others.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just me spitballing and thinking out loud. That's not any type of definite. I'd have to see it, and I'm probably not the person to talk to about that anyway, because Lord knows I can't get a 4-liter to run right. I had to export it to someone else just to unfuck the wiring. So
I'm trying to figure out how it would change anything in the actual combustion chamber enough to affect it, unless you were doing tuning. Have you done like a custom tune to it?
No, I'm
So-
running stock computer, stock, like it's
This-
off of,
yeah.
What
The
and
motor?
it's not
is
even
it? Your
like
motor?
handle it.
timing isn't even advanced or anything.
That's what
The
I was
stock
gonna
computer
ask.
can handle it to a certain extent, from what I understand.
But so then that's what's confusing is like I know that like Like, I don't know, did you do a different I don't know, I'm just trying to think of like compression ratios. Like, it doesn't make sense, like, other than unless you are somehow fucking up the mixture that's pulling in due to the vacuum increase of a stroker, which I've never even dabbled down, but that sounds fucking crazy. Like, I don't
Are you
understand
running a
why-
cam?
No,
Ooh,
it's
what the
whatever.
fuck, man? I'm
So
so
I got
confused.
the motor from, I think it's E&J, and it
Okay.
came in a box, and it was like you just put in, and it had a book, and like I never really like go off of manuals, and this was the one thing I was like, you know what, let me do it right. And I went and I'm reading, and I'm like, stock stuff, it just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I don't know.
What year's the
But
So
motor
it's like a
based
kit
off
you
of?
buy from,
yeah, no, so
or
so
they
you
built the
buy
motor.
the stroker in a box, like it's
Okay.
already
So
made.
it
They
can't.
already
The motor is assembled.
pre-built. Yes, it's
Okay. I
pre-built.
would call them then. That sounds like their problem, not yours.
I
Hell
know
yeah.
that's why I want to call, but I'm at the point that
Hmm.
I feel like I'm just done with the stroker. I would love to just go back to the plain all 4.0 with no issues.
Yeah. Well, it's worth. It might be worth calling them and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
this thing's overheated. It's fouling plugs. What's going on?" And then have somebody who's way smarter than anybody here tell you why it's not running right.
Wait,
Might
question.
it might solve your
What
problems.
fu-
If it's running hot and you got too much fuel and it's doing other weird shit, that's I don't know. It sounds like
What
something is wrong
fuel?
with that thing.
What fuel are you running?
I run super in it.
Okay, I'm wondering if you swap to. Do you have any like small aviation places like airports near you?
Yeah.
I wonder if you run 110 av gas, which is leaded. I wonder if that would help you. Because I'm just it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like plugs don't just foul due to heat. You can have plugs have an issue if you are not using the right. Like if you change the turbos, if you're like changing any of that, it kind of makes sense. It just having it be too rich to the point that you're fouling plugs and like it just doesn't make sense. Now, granted, if they were gray and you were having some detonation issues, then it's like okay, then it's something else. But specifically having it run too rich, like, are you noticing that you were literally having like fuel run out your exhaust pipes?
No, I haven't like came to
Weird.
that point yet. Um, but there is something going wrong in the motor inside. I've just been beating on it and just not caring kind of thing.
Is it over fueling? Like, do you have okay? So perfect example would be like our friend Buckley. He doesn't have one of the O2 sensors in it, and ever since he's had that issue, it just has major issues. Like, is it like you're not running a right O2 sensor? I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of any answer because it doesn't
Honestly,
make sense.
that the whole O2 that could, because I realized with the woman Jeep, you unplug that O2 sensor, it makes everything else go off.
Yeah. And that's pretty much like their like central nervous system is like the one fucking O2 sensor. Like, do you notice that you go through gas a hell of a lot quicker than she does?
So I got a 15-gallon fuel cell.
Mm-hmm.
I can wheel all day with the full tank. I okay, yeah. So I do go through a little bit more fuel than she does, but it's also I'm a fuel cell, not a full gallon
Yeah.
XJ tank.
Hmm. Yeah, I would definitely try to get an O2 sensor or even a Y band. Just so, I mean, granted, the Y band's only going to be for your information. And I don't think you can plug into the computer with it. But just getting an idea of why it's running rich and fouling out plugs, because that's weird. And yeah, changing out the plug isn't going to change if it's fouling out. You know what I mean? Unless it's
Yeah.
like
I would
interesting.
love I would love to find someone to tune it, but there's no one around me in Jersey that would actually like be like, "Oh yeah, let me take this and tune it for you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
4.0s are weird too because it's not something people are usually like begging to get tuned. It's not
Yeah.
like it's not difficult, but there's just not a lot of people who have like intimate knowledge on how to do it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Flying Ryan used to be one of the popular people to go and like hit up to have tune shit, but I don't know if that's still the case.
I can ask Croc and see what his brother did for his. 'Cause I
Logan
know that
has some experience too with the turbo stuff.
Logan,
He
I have
does.
that box that I'm not gonna use, so I could bring that to the web wheelers ball.
What kind of box
I don't
is it?
remember. It's some like
Split
spark
second.
box.
Oh, is it an
Split second,
MSD?
yeah.
No,
No.
it's not a MSD.
Dang, 2-step would be sick. Just saying. But either way, I wouldn't just jump off the bridge just yet. I do a little bit more back end work because like that doesn't make sense to just blame it on. Oh, actually, quick question: what is the year the motor is based off of?
So the year motor, it is a 97, because it's funny you say that, because I had a harness for a 98 and nothing was working. And I've had to ask brother to sister to mother to father all over the east to west coast for a 97 harness. And I found one guy like down south with one.
So does it have a distributor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so then I mean, have you actually taken a timing gun and actually looked and checked to make sure that the timing was correct? Because that could be
Timing gun?
99.
No, not at all.
Brother, what the fuck are you doing, man? What the? Hold on.
This is why I
We're
like the
gonna just-
computer-aided ones. They
Oh,
don't need
God.
that. You just plug them in and pray.
I turn the key.
Oh my God.
I hit that thing down to the floor. It goes, and that's all I got to do.
Okay, but before, man, you're talking about swapping motors and all this shit. Check your fucking timing. You said it's not in advance, but like,
Hey, we
maybe-
know it's at least it's not 180 degrees out.
You're right. You're right. But
It's
still,
in the ballpark.
you got like 3 steps you could take to just chance like looking at, and then kind of going through your whole thing. Because like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a better answer than just swapping out the motor.
Yeah, well, I gotta admit, when it's cold, it's amazing. But once it starts getting like 80 degrees out, then it starts getting a little funny. But like for like a winter Jeep, that thing would be amazing.
I mean, that
Now,
does. I mean, that changes it because you're gonna have colder air, which does. You have to jet certain things differently. Like whenever I used to race dirt bikes in the wintertime, we'd have to add more like a bigger jet to it to accommodate for the fuel for the crisp air. Because so that does make sense.
Yeah, like in the winter, it's absolutely amazing. Summertime, it's like a hit or miss. But but besides the whole like everything that it does, when it is running good, it runs nice and it sounds nice. But it
then
just
it has
has
to
those
work.
little things here and there.
Yeah, then it has to be the O2 related thing because that's super common with them. Is like, they're just like hit or miss. Where sometimes they're doing great, that sometimes they absolutely suck and foul things out and flood shit out. So honestly, man, you're solid. You just got to do that little bit of extra, and you'll make that thing sing.
Yeah.
Or meth injection, cool everything down, clear out the plugs, good to go. Or nitrous. Nitrous could be cool too. I don't know if that would help with flooding things out, but it would be sick. And then if you're gonna swap the motor, at least do it when you shot a rod through the bottom end. Be sick.
Yeah.
Or then you can't sell it though. Can't pawn it off to somebody else.
That's what JB Weld is for.
One of our friends, I forget who it was, he blew a fucking rod out the side and he just sawzawed it in half and then drove it home. I still don't know how the fuck he made it home. Blows my mind.
They
Then-
do not care.
Unless
as long as
Luke
the
owns it.
crankshaft is still there, it will still go. It doesn't need all of them. Hell, mine was running on how many cylinders the entire web wheelers ball last year? Not all of them. They weren't even getting fuel at the right time. We've talked about this a million times. I had like 2 cylinders that were getting the right like fuel, spark, everything. One that wasn't even plugged in, and everyone after that was plugged in the wrong spot. So it was just scavenging fuel from the wrong cylinders in the manifold, or like from a previous injection. It was like
Oh God.
4 cylinders probably, and not an ideal 4 cylinders, and it did the whole weekend. It didn't care. So
Look at the motor that Luke popped in a single weekend at my house. Fucking half the pistons disintegrated into itself, and it was still fucking running.
That thing was
Yep.
shot though, let's be honest. I mean, Luke looks at a 4.0 the wrong way and it blows up.
his new one hasn't been doing too bad.
Speaking of which, though, what are you running 43s or 42s on that thing?
So as of right now, I'm running 42s. It all
How-
depends, but what was that?
I was just gonna say with the stock case. I mean, what are you running for gear ratios in your axles, and like how does that thing do pushing it?
So I'm running 513 gears.
Okay.
I have no issues doing fat burnouts here and there.
Wow.
Even with the case, I gotta say, yes, I am on I want to say my fourth case, but besides that, it pushes itself. I can pushing the 42s. I have no issues.
How does
Yeah.
wait, so have you done like a wide chain on it or anything, or are you just running literally like stock cases with an SYE?
I'm literally just running a stock case with an SYA.
Holy shit. I'm
You can
surprised
do
that
it. How many have you blown up? Any?
4.
I'm on my fourth one already.
Oh no shit! I must have missed that. I'm
He
sorry.
literally just said it.
Oh, that sounds about right. I mean, 231s are great. Don't get me wrong. Like for a stock case, you can really abuse those things, and they're easy to find. They're not heavy, so you can put them in by hand pretty much. There's 6 bolts, and then it's
Yeah, they're easy to find. They're easy to fix. Like I had mine out multiple times at Windrock, just fixing it.
yeah, it's easy. It's not like that's the thing is like, and my biggest fear is I blow up the doubler 205 in mine, and I'm fucked. Like I'm done. Now, it shouldn't blow up, but I've had situations where it's come undone and I get home and I'm like, "Oh, it's not even connected. Like the bolts are or the studs are there and the bolts or the nuts on the stud are still there, but it's so loose you could like flop the thing around in there. I don't know how the hell it didn't just explode my transmission or something, right? If it goes, it's going to take everything out. Where 231, the weak point is going to be that either the shift collar or the chain. It's going to slip the chain or something stupid, and it's not going to be catastrophic. There's definitely something to be said for just running stock cases. They're cheap, and if you've gone through 4 of them in how many years with 42s on it, it's still cheaper than a doubler.
Yeah, my thing is I would love to do a doubler, but the problem is when I did my 4-link in the rear, I did a cross member,
Mhm.
and it's like I would say getting the T case out is a little tight. So if I was to do like an Atlas or something, it would be like super, super hard because then I would have to change out my whole geometry of my rear end. So that's why I was like, oh, I think the Behemoth, because I was looking at pictures that they're making the Behemoth the same size or even smaller as the stock case.
Yep.
Behemoth
they're-
has done a really interesting brand turnaround, and I'm kind of like vibing with it at the moment. They used
Yeah.
to be like absolutely shit, and now it seems like they're starting to go in the right direction.
I think it's a whole new ownership, right? They're doing
Yeah,
something
new
nice.
ownership.
We started out as shit, and look at where we are now. All right, everybody has a chance to grow up. Okay, jeez.
Uh-huh.
Jeez,
I mean, we're still
guys.
kind of shitty, but we're better. Just a little, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
Hard
I
no.
hope so. And by the way, did I disconnect and then re-come back? I don't know what the fuck happened, but
Nope.
oh, for me it like went badoop, badoong, and like came back. I don't know what the fuck. That was weird. But hell yeah. I mean, so it's pretty cool that you're another East Coast guy. I feel like we've been so far away from East Coast guys lately, so it's a nice little breath of fresh air. Do you have any thoughts about coming up to Field and Forest?
So anytime I see pictures, I would love to go to Field and Forest. Like as I said, like my home park is Roush, so like I know Roush like the back of my hand. But like we go to AOP, we do Windrock. The farthest place I've been was AOP. So I'm
Oh,
always down for new parks and new people, new places.
yeah, we'll definitely have to let you know every time that we go. We have one. I think it's in October, which I think is like I'll let you know whenever. I'll have to figure out exactly what it is.
Yeah, we got to clear it with
Well,
Sean and make sure we
Yeah,
have the
to
space to
invite people?
potentially invite people. Yeah.
What the
'cause
fuck? We don't
it's
do
not-
that.
I
not
think we
just
got
our
the
weekend.
space, Graham.
All right. Well, just putting it out there.
We might know the
October
owners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying
You
that
know.
we should probably make sure it's cool with the club. Not that I
You
don't
can
think it
take
will
my
never
spot.
not be, but it's not cool to not say anything.
He could take my spot, and then his wife can take Kate's spot for going. It'll be fine.
Oh,
Because we know she ain't wheeling anymore.
I don't think she's in the club anymore.
I mean, no, you're right. Actually, she didn't pay. She can take Jordan's spot. Jordan's not wheeling right now. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
He's in the club either.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. He definitely still is. Either way, she
Okay.
is. But anyways. But yeah, we'll definitely let you know. Field and Force is wicked cool, and especially with you being in Jersey, it's only probably only like 7 hours, maybe 6 hours.
6, 7, something
And
like that.
it's worth experiencing. Like it really is. Like the red trails are fucking nuts. They're crazy.
You want to get spanked by some trails? That property will do it.
Yeah,
42s or
I
not.
heard like Field and Forest is like the sister place of like AOP.
That's
I'd
a
say-
really good description.
Like
I
if
don't know
you're
if
not
it-
get like if you don't pull in that parking lot and seen someone dragged out, you're like not at the right place.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I've ever heard the comparison. I don't disagree with it, but I don't know. Field and Forest is AOP is I don't know. To me, kind of
AOP
like pinnacle southern property, except it's close. It's not. That's the big thing that it's got going for it is like the trails and stuff aren't all spread apart, which is like par for the course for southern properties.
Yeah.
And it's got that going for it in the same direction as Field and Forest. But otherwise, I'd say there's more rocks at Field and Forest. Like AOP has rocks, don't get me wrong, and it's got some obstacles like Little Caesars and shit, but it's just a totally different layout. It's hard to describe.
Another really good point to throw in there also is I feel like AOP's experience is extremely condition dependent, whereas FNF is just straight up fuck you.
You get what you get every time.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If it rains at FNF, it seems like it's a motherfucker because I haven't been there yet.
From
So
what I
I
understand,
will.
you get pretty good traction at FNF when it rains because it clears all the shit off the rocks. Same deal as
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
eat my humble pie then.
That's
Never
right. You've never
mind.
been there. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I'm planning on going next year. That's on the list.
Someday.
Well, I'm not going to King of Hammers. I'm going to FNF. So
Hell yeah.
that should tell you where
Man,
my
I thought you
priorities
were
are
gonna
at.
race in the weenie class. What's that like? Ultra
Ween-
100s?
The Weenie Hut. No, my rig's too fucking heavy. It would never
Not
pass
for the
tech.
Ultra 100s. I
Um,
just made it up now. You can race in my class.
I don't think if I showed up and I'm like, hi, I'm actually here to race in the Ultra 100 Weenie class, that they would be like, yeah, right this way, sir. This is totally real. You're not on crack and making shit up. You know, what could go wrong there?
I don't see any issue with this at all.
Um,
I think they'd lead you right on into the racetrack.
yeah, definitely. Nothing could go wrong. Yeah, I want to go to fucking KOH, but my problem with going to KOH is it just ends up. It's a lot easier logistically for me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go home for the week, chill with the family, you know, go out to the old spot I used to grab pizza with Richie, hit my bell, and then go hit F and F. And like, I don't have to. I can just make that work, and it's like a lot easier to split the drive up if I do that too, because I can, you know, show up a couple days early and go see the family, hit my bell. I don't care if it's just me and Ryan one day after Ryan gets out of work, and then
I will
like,
call off work.
okay, perfect. So I got enough people to go and hit my bell, and then I can just go up to F&F, and like if I have to go fix something, I can find a spot to fix something, and like it's my bell. I shouldn't blow anything that crazy up there. And then I can just go to F&F, break my shit, throw it on the trailer, drive back down to Richie's or my mom's, and spend another day or two there, and then make the drive home. And it makes it a lot easier to do that instead of doing. I think FNF's 19 hours for me.
How's that possible? No, I guess that's actually probably
No, it
right.
makes sense. It's
Yeah,
probably
that
more
makes
than
sense,
that if you
yeah.
actually consider like a human is driving that vehicle.
We don't consider that. This human only stops to get diesel and shit while the diesel tank is filling.
That's fair.
Cruise control set at 75. So, other thing I gotta ask, since it's you and your wife, what are you doing to tow these things? You got like a gooseneck or some shit like that?
Yeah, so we got a 36-foot gooseneck. We just previously just bought another Dodge because mine has been taking a whole beating and it kind of needs a break for right now. So,
What happened to it?
no, I just got to redo the suspension. We got to redo I'm having an issue with my tune, but besides that, the truck runs amazing. It just we're just putting a lot of use and abuse on it for the last how many years. So it was kind of like this girl needs a little break for a couple years.
I can understand that. My F-250 was not the happiest with some of the towing that it had to do, like when we had Graham's welding table and all of the possible spare parts that I could imagine finding thrown in the bed, plus all the camping shit to go to GER. She was screaming in the hills and just hating life at 6.5 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, like it's funny you say that, like hills and everything, because like out up near me, that's all we got is hills, and everyone's like, there's no use for another dually, and everyone's like busting my balls on buying another dually, but it just like between comfort and everything, it's just like it's what we need.
Well, you're towing a 36-foot goose, and you're not going a minuscule distance.
No, anywhere we go is not like we look at Windrock as weekend trips.
Well, next
Yeah.
time you're in the neighborhood, let me know. I live an hour and a
We'll be
half.
down. Okay, so what are you guys doing next week? Because we're coming down for Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, and we plan on
I
hitting
am working.
Windrock before.
I am working, he says.
I have to. I work a rotating schedule, so there's a 50-50 shot on hitting whether or not I'm off that weekend. It's
What
pretty
about
terrible.
during the week?
During the week, I will be wrenching to get my shit box ready to go to Web Wheelers. Because right now it runs. I think Connor said that he was shop kid. I think he said he was gonna have that in the shop and be starting some of the fabrication stuff. But I'm showing up this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to finish up the fabrication and finish up like some of the minor bullshit stuff. And then from there, I'm dragging it back, and I have to do a full fluid flush because I decided it was a submarine. It is in fact not a submarine. Shocking.
Ah,
And then it's going up to Web Wheelers, and in order to make Web Wheelers happen, I've been working a fuck ton extra, just because like I did the coilovers, I did the dove nose. It's none of that shit is cheap.
nah, I feel you on that. You got to do what you got to do.
After after Web Wheelers, I'm hoping it comes back in one piece, but then I'm leaving at the end of that month to go to Humble Pie. I might go up to Humble Pie for a day or two and then see what the club's doing, because I think the club's doing something else, like the old wheeling club I was in that weekend. So I might run over there, just bebop around New England in a rental, and then I'm gonna fly home after that. And the next thing on my radar is we are sponsoring, I guess. I'm not sure what the fucking wording would be, but AOP wanted to put us on their flyer, and they asked one of us to show up. So I will be at their October Halloween celebration thing that they're doing, and I fully plan on acting the fool there.
Hell yeah.
So, if the blue ship box is running, you're going to see a lot of rev limiter, and every mile marker hub this side of the Mason-Dixon is going to be disappearing.
Perfect.
Shit's mint. Don't worry about it. So that's the only shit I have planned for now. I was going to do something cool for Thanksgiving weekend, but now her parents are flying in, and that kind of killed that whole plan. I might still slip away to go to like AOP or Windrock for the day. Hell, if I could swing at Harlan. Have you been to Harlan?
No.
You should go to Harlan. I don't know why I'm telling you should go to Harlan when I've been there once, but I'm trying to go back to Harlan.
You got no excuse. You're close too.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours.
It spanked you last time you were there though. So.
And I didn't see a single fucking cool piece of the park other than what we saw that one night.
Yeah. I did, but not in my rig, because I also got spanked.
That I feel like we were just a victim of circumstances that trip.
It was just it was a good time, but it was at the same time not a good time.
What do they call that? Class 3 fun, where it's not fun in the moment, but when you look back on it, it was a blast.
Yeah. I didn't realize they had classifications for fun, but I learned
they
something
do.
new every day.
Type 3 fun is that type of fun. I think Type 1 fun is... Hang on. Give me a second. I have to Google this. What are the 4 types? Hard fun, easy fun, serious fun, and people fun. And Type 1 fun is like just going out and enjoying the outdoors and enjoying yourself for being outdoors. Type 2 fun is alright, never mind. They can't make up their fucking mind. Every description I'm reading has them all classified differently, but yeah.
Everybody knows it doesn't need to have a classification. There's a type of fun where it sucks when you're there, and then you look back on it 6 months from then, and then on.
Every time I see Curtis.
Was sick. Are you saying Curtis is class 3 fun? Not good in the moment?
I'm back.
Poor Curtis.
Yes, he's most definitely not fun in the moment. He will find a way to bitch about everything. Everything can be going perfect, and he will complain it's going too perfect.
And yet we still wheel with him.
Yeah. Great dude. Yeah. So, let's see. It's going to be you, your wife. Are you guys bringing anyone else to the Web Wheelers?
It all depends. My buddies are always down to go wheel. So I could come with 1, 2 people, or I could show up with 5 people.
Hell yeah.
The merrier.
What did you say, Richie?
I know what he said, but it sounded like he said marrier.
I said more the merrier.
You're marrying one of these dudes?
I mean,
more the merrier. Oh my fuck.
Damn.
Fish, I'm proud of you, but like, isn't
You
that a
haven't
little
met him
early?
yet. And you're already married.
Damn.
Right,
What
no
happens
shame.
in the woods stays in the woods, I guess. Just,
Exactly.
if you see that mega cab a rocking, don't come a knocking. Speaking of, is Tina Two Turn showing up?
He will be showing up.
Fuck yeah. I cannot wait to throw Logan in your passenger seat and throw Tina Two Turn up Trail 5 hill climb.
Well, give him an opportunity to drive. He can actually do it now. So
Can he drive manual now?
I don't know. That'll be a learning experience.
Oh my god. So this kid, we call him Tina, and that was because for a while he was a drama queen, and his name's Preston, so it became Prestina. And now he's just Tina. And then he has a bad reputation for if you don't let him drink only light beer, he becomes Tina 2 Turn, which is the alter ego where he's puking someplace and you just forget about him because that's the easiest thing to do for your sanity.
It's the thing to do.
So it sounds to me like we're gonna have to throw him in my Jeep and throw him at the comp course.
Can we?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Okay. Friday night, we'll just let him go bebop around the comp course in first. Don't let him get out at first, and don't let him hit the gas.
Fucking perfect. No,
What's he gonna do? Flop it?
I was saying, Luke, he finally got his fucking license, so he can actually drive. He doesn't know it, but he's actually driving to Roush.
With a trailer?
Yeah, I want to be a goddamn princess, okay?
I wouldn't do that with your truck. Not because, like, your truck is bad, but because I actually like your truck and want your truck to continue to exist.
So believe it or not, a week after I got the truck, he was already driving the truck.
But he wasn't towing.
No, he wasn't towing. So best time to fucking learn.
Excellent. So
All that shitty traffic on fucking 81.
fuck that. I like going to Roush, if I'm being honest, for the actual driving part of it. Like, driving through Virginia sucks dick and there's nothing you can do about it. But for me, it's literally turn out of my road, turn on to 60, turn on to 75, and then I drive from 75 all the way to Roush. It is like 6 total turns to get to Roush. And I find that to be the funniest shit ever because it's like you just hop on 81 and you get off in Pennsylvania. I don't even bother with the GPS.
Yeah, you don't need to. I don't really need
just
to
71
either.
north?
81.
81 north,
Yeah.
and then you duck off a few ways, and then
Get off at Trepmont. And
yeah, that's pretty cool.
you
We've
go up the hill.
accidentally gone to Roush sometimes. Not intentionally. We just happened to be in the area. I had to take the exit, and there's Roush.
Yeah.
How do you accidentally end up at Roush?
We were having trailer tire issues, and there happened to be a trailer tire place off the exit that also happened to be the Roush exit, but from like the back way, so we didn't immediately recognize it. And then we passed Roush. We're like, oh, there it is. Look at that. Cool.
That does remind me I have to go and like actually check that my trailer tires are inflated and grease all the bearings and everything before I go to leave. I said I was going to do all this service to the trailer and like knock on wood, I ran out of time, effort, and motivation and money.
Happens.
So
Usually run out of skill before I run out of those things.
yeah, no, I'm out of money. It's just the cost of doing business at this point. But so you said Roush is your home park. What's some
Yeah.
of the obstacles that are like actually worth it that aren't like the Shoot the Moon or Crawler Ridge and Crawl Daddy that you enjoy?
Jotters is a fun time depending on like where you put tire, because lately it sounds weird because everyone's like, oh, Roush has amazing traction. Roush is great with traction. Lately, my traction with my tires have sucked. I don't know if it's just my tires, but I'm at the point that I'm about to throw the treps away and go with the new tire.
Love me Mickeys.
Yeah, I want to do Mickey's, but it's also I'm still on DOT tires. Everyone's telling me to go with treps. Or no, sorry, stickies.
Yeah,
So
go
like,
with Stickies.
Oh wait, those are bias plies?
yeah.
Those aren't. Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, you got to get on some stickies. Like even if you drop down to a 40-inch sticky, I think it'll be a world of difference. I didn't even realize that when I asked the question earlier. I just assumed they were stickies.
No, they're still DOTs. At the time, I was like, oh, 42 is a 42. And then everyone's like, nah, you should have just went with stickies. But like, I'm scared if I was to go with stickies and I start like getting on it and give it more gas, I'm going to start breaking shafts.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. If you're getting on it, Or I shouldn't say if you're getting on it, because like you're still going to end up having points where you have to get on it, but generally that's where it's sloppy.
Yeah.
Like, I used to drive the same way. Now I'm like, just if it'll crawl it, I'll see if it'll crawl it, and then when it won't crawl it, that's when the right foot drops and we find second or third.
Yeah. It's funny because like anytime with me, it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna crawl it, and I get 2 tires on it. And it's like, nope, we're gonna send her hard.
Yeah, I literally used to do that on every obstacle, and then to quote I can't English, and like this should just be a normal phenomenon for all the normal listeners, but to quote Kish, holy shit, you can crawl. Came back out when
mean-
I put the stickies on.
It's the same idea of like when you first go to like open to lockers. You know what I mean? You're at it. It's a traction adder, and you know it's like the same idea as like, oh, well, once I start spinning tires, I'm gonna brake shift more. But yeah, but when you're adding traction, you don't tend to have to spin tire. But like Luke's right. But when the times when you're other than when you're being dumb, you know what I mean? Like when you're being dumb, you're being dumb. No matter what, you're gonna like you're gonna do something dumb and blow shit up. But the times when you do need to start, pumping some horsepower through it, you're already in a spot that it's loose and shitty, so the chances of like traction just exploding things is a little bit less. So I kind of get it.
Yeah, you have a lower overall chance of braking if you're crawling, but a higher chance of shock loading shit. So like if you just keep that in your mind and
Yeah,
like
he's got an auto, so it's a little less likely to.
yeah, but he can't just clutch it when he feels it starting to bind up after he was spinning it.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
You can just let out of the throttle, but you're still going to have some inherent momentum going. Manuals reign supreme. Praise be to the Omnissiah of mechanicals. So, little Warhammer reference.
Yeah.
Oh, what reference?
Warhammer.
Some
Oh,
nerd
what?
shit.
The
Nerd
hell is
shit.
nerd shit going on in here?
I've been on a Warhammer kick lately.
I'm sorry. That's annoying.
It's great. I've been
Then
enjoying
again,
myself.
I've been playing Tarkov again, so I can't say shit.
Yeah, you can't say shit.
I
No wonder I haven't
currently-
heard from you recently.
I'm currently listening to the Horus Heresy audiobook series. There's only 75 10-hour long books in it. It's great. I'm going to be occupied at work.
75 10-hour?
Yeah.
Bro, huh? Who the fuck? Like, the amount of Adderall that I would have to snort or boof to get me to sit and listen to that. Like, I get it. You're at work, right? You pop in some headphones or whatever. But I thought you couldn't wear headphones at work, Luke.
No, I wear a headset. Like,
Oh, okay.
I've got comms in my ear and all that other stupid shit. And like, my boss can like yell at me that he needs me up front or whatever, or that a press is down because the tool room is 600 feet away from where the presses are. So if I'm working on something, I can't know what's going on out there.
Gotcha. Okay, so then that makes sense. I mean, like, if you're at work listening to it, cool. But like outside of work, brother.
Oh no,
I don't
outside of
know.
work I have like podcasts I listen to and like YouTube videos to watch and shit. I'm not doing that outside of work, but like
Okay, then that's understandable. I used
if
to
they're
do
going to
that.
pay me to listen to it, okay. You know?
Yeah, no, that's a win. I've been
Sorry
I've been able to. Sorry.
Sorry, Joey, I don't mean to talk about Warhammer shit on your episode, but
No, you're totally fine.
my goal for Jotters this year is I want to hit the middle line.
No, left line. Middle line's easy.
Says
Middle's
the one
for
on
babies.
35s that's never driven up it.
Brother, I could walk that shit backwards with my eyes closed. Come on now, that thing is simple.
All right, we better see you walking it with your broke ass back.
Fuck, dude. If I fall down, one of y'all gonna have to drag
It's
me
a lot
out,
high
brother.
stakes. High stakes.
You are talking a lot of shit right now, so
No. I'm stating facts. Simple facts. It's all it is. Curtis has been able to walk the middle line for years now. Don't you want to one up him by doing
Curtis
the left line?
constantly fucks up the middle line and ends up going up the
That's
right
because
line.
he sucks. It's not his fault that he's trash.
It literally is. It's his fault. He's trash.
Damn, I think you're
Poor
right.
Curtis.
Dang it.
He doesn't listen to these anyway. He just fucking goes in, does an episode, forget it exists, and then like shows up to wheel twice a year.
3 times. He went to Thanksgiving, AOP, and then Web Wheelers. Okay, give him a break.
Okay, so the middle line on Jotters is on my list. Sunday activities include Crawler Ridge because I have a bad history with that obstacle.
In the center line,
Yes.
I get 2 tires over it, and then I get stuck. I'm still trying to do the center line.
So I crawled in the center line. I was far to the left, and the driver tires got traction, and the passenger tires did not have traction. And I was feeding it the beans, and it threw me sideways completely out of the line. Blew the tire off of the bead, like almost flopped, and just kind of like caught itself. All kinds of fucked up. We had to winch it over almost onto the driver's side to reseat the bead. It blew the tire off of the actual inner bead, so like the outer bead of the tire was up against my coil spring. It was a bad time. So I kind of want to just go back over there and see what happens.
Have you guys seen V-Notch?
I've seen V-Notch. I was literally just about to say I kind of don't give a fuck about V-Notch.
I feel like Graham's got
No,
redemption.
V-Notch
like,
is fun. I love
Yeah.
V-Notch, even though it broke my Jeep. I'm definitely trying it again.
That's
Was
good
it
for the
Dan-
goose. It might be good for the gander.
Yeah,
Might not.
yeah,
I don't know.
well, you got your fancy 4-link, and you say you're not going to try V-Notch with your fancy stickers that are greater than God's gift to this blessed earth.
I hope
you're
that
not
it's
gonna
nice
hit the
and
V-Notch?
sloppy.
It won't
Just
be.
to
It's a
fuck your
rock.
day up.
It's a rock. Don't be a bitch. Just put those Mickeys where they belong
Yeah, Graham, you
in the
tell him.
V-Notch.
Yeah.
You have an unhealthy obsession with V-notches, though. If you can stick your tire someplace and blow your shit up, you do it. So, like, I'm just watching.
It takes a
from
lot
your
to blow those
fuck-ups.
1550s, and even then, it's never the 1550 that goes. If I blow a 35 spline stub shaft, I'll be content with that. It's fine.
It do be like that, and at least you can get spares. The only thing that sucks about Roush is that the fucking auto parts store is 40 minutes away.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to break one, so. And I didn't break one on the last time we were there. I just broke the leaf spring, which is brand
True.
new now. It won't break that one again. It'll break the other side.
True. Anyways, like I said, that would be a Sunday activity. I want to go and enjoy Friday and Saturday. And, like, just bebop around with Kish on Friday. I want to go and hit. There's a couple of trails in the back off of, I think it's one, like that big green trail that just, like, we hit them when we were there in my XJ fucking 10 years ago. So I kind of want to go and just drive over them now, even though they're not like that big of a deal, but just for old time's sake.
So I'm gonna describe this fucking terribly, Luke. But I would love to hit the trail that we went down with Devin and Ian, where all of us were freaking out about the fucking the V notch in the dirt that goes right up.
Oh, what the fuck is the name of that trail?
So you remember it. I would love to fucking go up that and see how, like, kind of like a, wow, we were bitches kind of a moment.
Yeah, that's off of one as well. What the fuck is the name of that?
It's about the one that's after Tombstone or whatever, or Graveyard. The one
Yeah,
that's
it's like just a big old dirt V-notch with a couple of rocks that you have to climb to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
like, I can't tell you more than that about where the trail is or any names around it. Because, I mean, it was fucking 10 years ago, but I would love to see that specific spot and just laugh at how much of a bitch we were back then.
yeah, that would be fun. I want to see if I can get up that in just first gear for the fucking lols. I also would not be opposed to going and just bebopping around. Not the quarry. What's that other section of the property? Joey,
Lake
help me out.
Christie.
Not Lake Christie. That's where we got fucked up. I don't need to relive that memory. Fuck
So
that
I
place.
gotta know. I gotta know now. What's the memory?
So there was this dude. I think his name was Jamie,
That
and
was Jamie, yeah.
this was at Web Wheeler's Ball 1. So
Jamie had a tall CJ on 30 or
43.
43s.
Yeah, with an LS and a built to fuck 300 in it. And well, we went through Lake Christie because
His Jeep made it through no problem. It didn't look that deep when Jamie's Jeep went through.
so Graham's on 37s and Graham's in front of me.
Pretty low lift.
Yeah, he's got like 5 inches of lift or whatever. 37s, and Graham goes in front of me, and the Jeep just disappears down to the fucking window seal.
Oh my god!
It was literally at the windows. I don't know how the water didn't suck, or the engine didn't suck water.
And I don't know how I got convinced to go around it, but somehow I got convinced to go all the way around the outside of Lake Christie. And my Jeep died 3 times in the lake.
Oh man!
It was bad. Water was like in the seats. And we ended up like going to shoot the moon.
You had water in your seats. That was your biggest concern.
Yeah, it was over my nuts. I'm allowed to be a little pissed about water coming in over my nuts. I wasn't expecting to have them
I couldn't even see my shifter. It was gone. He asked me if it was in neutral when we were yanking it out. I look in and it's just not there. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to go and check.
Oh man!
So I ended up going around and coming out, and on the way out, all of the water that had collected in the floor pan went out through the back hatch and the holes for the shocks. And so it was just a waterfall coming out of there, and then we went to shoot the moon, and that was a blast. But I was looking back, and Graham's just sitting on his roof with his buddy Liam, and they're like, just, well, fuck, here we go. And then I forget who it was, but didn't one of you have to take the plunge into Lake Christie to
Yeah, it
like?
was me. It was up to my nipples.
Oh my god.
So that's our experience with Lake Christie. I was talking about like there's a couple of trails over on that side of the park where it's just like a couple of dumb bump up ledges that we ended up finding 10 years ago when we were there with Richie and myself just bombing around the backside of the park.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what they were called, but
I don't even know how we got there. We've never been back. And I'm
Yeah,
not upset about that. I just don't know how we even got there. I don't know where it is.
all I know is not going in there. It just doesn't matter. We can be back. I will take the fucking trail all the way around the top to the fucking opposite side and continue to be lost. I am not going through that again. And then when we got back, we were draining stuff, and there was like just milk came out of my diffs. My transmission was like milk water. Graham drove his transmission back on just pond water.
I didn't even know it was just water. I drained it from the top plug like a dumbass thinking, oh, I got all the water out, but oil floats. So, yeah, it was cool. I had about 3 water bottles worth of water in my AX-15, and that was all that was there to lubricate it for 7 hours of a drive.
Oh my!
I don't know how it didn't blow up. Yeah, it was cool. It was lots of fun.
Let's see. What other obstacles are you thinking are worth the time and effort?
Which is nice. You can go across the street, and you go in, and it's like an F red, and then it's like right in the beginning, and it's all reds, but there's like a nice like rock face.
Trying to think. I know we did a
yep.
lot of stuff on the other side. Luke, I don't know
There's
if
like
you
a
did.
tree. There's like a tree right on like the right side of the rock. Everyone calls it like the famous Instagram rock.
I have no idea.
It's right near the beginning?
Yeah, it's right near the beginning. If you go in and follow the green, like if you go in across the street, go across to like, it's almost like a pole line, and it's like the first right, and it's like a black, and you got all like, it's like a small loop of greens, and then you
Yep.
got like a black and red
We might have done
trails.
it. I don't know. I know the one I remember, and we did a bunch of stuff over there. I don't know if they were reds or blacks or what exactly they were. I know we hit is it Armageddon or whatever that like Rock Creek little trail is. It's like a loop. It's near the field. There's a big field.
Crucible.
Crucible, that's what it's called.
I've done Crucible.
Crucible was cool.
Crucible almost took my door off.
I don't have
Yeah.
a door, so I'm doing great. I can skip that quite easily.
They also made a new trail called Fruit Loop, and that's like right next to the comp course.
I don't know if we've been to Fruit Loop then.
When
did they make it?
They just made it. It's like black, like 3 offshoots.
Oh, cool.
Dude, that's awesome.
But it's like one of those things. Like once you're down there, like if you're going through the woods, like just hope you don't break.
Oh, fuck you, kind of a deal.
Yeah, basically. And it's funny because like I got my buddy Jason. He's open, but like backed on like the whole like small tire thing. Like I'll turn around and he's like right behind me, and it like Fruit Loop was one of those trails like, oh, let me get down here. Didn't realize I turn around and he's behind me. It's like, damn, dude, you're following me? Hell yeah.
Well, that was like some of the fun of the small tire gang, though, was you could go and do that. And we got a dude down here, Dave Gregory is his name. He's a super good dude, and like he's just down to go and do whatever. And like he just follows us around, and it's great. He's on like 35 Cooper. You remember the ones that they had before they had the ST Pros? He's on those. And he just bebops on around. And whenever he breaks it, he's just smiling and like, hey, cool. The only thing that I'm a little jealous of him about is his repairs are not nearly on the same like cataclysmic scale. Except for when he tore the steering box off the unibody, but you know, hey, that's just unibody things. Oh, by the way, Richie.
Yes.
At some point in time, once I am more financially stable, I will be shipping you one of those Ars Fab steering box spacers with the Weldon tabs. They're great.
Oh,
love it.
Cool.
And I owe you a diff cover too. From when you were down here. I haven't forgotten about that, but you know, whatever. We'll get that when we get that. I haven't forgotten, just had other shit coming up.
Well, I'm glad you didn't because I did.
Oh, so I should have just been quiet, but that wouldn't really fit. Yeah, no, I told you I was going to get you a solid or a rough stuff cover as part of buying the Comanche, so I still have to do that.
Right. I did forget about that.
I just kind of got lost in the sauce with the whole, you know, like nose coming off thing. I think I sent you pictures of that, Joey.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it's fucking narrow now. It's 18.5 inches narrower.
Damn, you're gonna have all the flex in the world.
It picked up. It lost an inch of down travel and picked up 3 inches of up. So, I'm not gonna call that a loss. See. Graham, you got any fun and exciting plans for the Web Wheelers Ball?
Just try and make it there. That's my current goal. That's
How is it that Colin and Richie are more prepared than you and me
'cause
this time?
all of their things work.
Whoa. Do not be saying I am fucking prepared here.
You seem like you're on better track than me and Graham at the moment.
So technically speaking, the thing doesn't fucking run right now.
Oh yeah, you should probably fix that.
I just need to buy a starter. I'm buying a starter tomorrow.
I think
Ah,
I have one laying around.
That's always how it goes, though.
His is
Whenever you're trying to
Renix.
like move something in or do
Oh.
anything, the starter always goes. I've never had a starter go bad, other than when it's been, chilling, sitting, starting and moving just fine. Then you go to pull it into the shop or do something, and then all of a sudden the starter doesn't work.
Yeah, well,
Happened with
so
mine
so
happened
when,
with Luke's when I was trying to work on it. It's just always the worst
So when-
times.
when I flew down to Tennessee for the week, me and Luke got the Comanche to start so I could hear it run.
Mhm.
But that was 10 minutes of Luke sitting underneath the Jeep hitting it with a hammer.
Oh yeah, it'll be
So-
like that.
So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just sticky from sitting for so long.
Hmm.
So I go to finally, I throw all the drive shafts in, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to drive this thing around the yard, even though it should not be fucking mobile right now.
Hmm.
And I had Jess sitting in the cab fucking trying to crank the thing, and I'm sitting underneath the thing for like a good 15, 20 minutes just wailing on the fucking starter. And then it starts smoking. I'm like, all
well,
right,
that's that.
It's probably not going to fucking start with the starter.
Yeah, at least it's not too crazy of a fix.
No, it's not a crazy fix. I mean, it's fucking like what, 2 bolts and a couple of nuts
3.
holding the wires on.
3.
It's 2 bolts.
Oh, what? Are they all 2
Yeah,
bolts?
starters
I
are
haven't- I
2
haven't-
bolts, you dummy.
Fuck, I haven't done a starter on a Jeep in a long time. All right, my bad.
Shows.
Shots fired. Yeah, I'm just fucking excited at this point. Like it's 2 weeks away, just about.
Mm,
I
like
hear the pain in Graham's voice. And it's funny, but it's sad.
it's every fucking time, I swear.
You do this to yourself too. We literally sat down on an episode and said that Graham's gonna not be ready to go. He's gonna have issues with the truck. No. The J truck's gonna be nice and easy.
No,
Direct quote.
wrong. That was a lie. Although it does run now.
Sweet.
I got it running yesterday.
Sweet.
So that was cool. Next is make sure it moves without blowing up, and then put the rest of it together, and then I'm done with it. Unless there's something else that comes up in between it now running and it moving. So
Wait a second. So you turned it on but didn't even put it in gear?
no, I don't have brakes yet, or I have brakes. All the stuff is there. It was still like I was just gravity bleeding. It was leaking from a couple fittings. I redid every brake line on the thing, so I expected that. So far, I've been able to just tighten them, and it has stopped all the leaks. But I need someone to push the pedal so I can actually properly bleed the thing. I don't think the wheel cylinder bleeder screws have ever been turned, so those aren't going to be fun. But a vice grip or a pipe wrench will take those puppies right on off, and we'll get it bled. But that's huge. That's the next step. I think Ryan's going to help me if nobody else will. And
I would offer, but you know.
you're a little far. Ryan's like 2 streets away, I think.
I don't know. Sounds like he swings by every time he's on shift.
Only
Pretty
on
much.
Sundays.
Oh,
Only
only on
Sundays. Yeah, I usually see Ryan Sundays if I'm there late.
That's what he does is
Um,
community policing.
Just freak my landlord out. I know he's got a camera that watches that parking lot, so probably just sees the cop pulled up and walk into the shop, and he's like, "What the fuck is this dude doing?"
Trying to hang out and be social with a Grambino.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you would do that, but hey,
Or he
that's
just
on him.
thinks one neighbor is calling the cops every single Sunday. He's like, God, this Graham guy just sucks
He
on a
hasn't
Sunday.
said anything about it, so I don't know. I don't care.
I mean, personally, I'm just gonna say you suck either way, and that's the simple solution.
Mm.
But Joey,
Yes.
did you happen to bring us a small animal fact?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
What the fuck? I look forward to that.
Well, I will fill in then. Did you know that honeybees, as far as like keeping them in captivity, is kind of a mutual relationship after this many generations of beekeeping? It's if the colony doesn't like their queen, they'll just go leave. If they don't like their enclosure, they'll just go leave. They're kind of like a almost union shop. It's very funny how they act, and if they like their conditions and everything like that, they will overproduce honey, expecting some of it to be taken.
That's weird. Why do they do that?
It's just one of those things that's been discovered through beekeeping over like I want to say the phenomenon's been seen over the last like 200 years. And continued to develop, and like if they like a particular hive a lot, the hives next to it will also do well because there will be cross communication and whatnot.
He is right. And did you know that depending on what flowers are around the area will change the flavor of the honey?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Yeah.
And then if you are an allergy sufferer, lemon in your tea with dark honey, and you'll be amazed by the difference that it makes. It's actually like kind of a weird thing because I'm not a teetotaler, but you know, when I've got bad allergies, some lemon tea with dark honey from the area actually like soothes the symptoms. So that's kind of cool. I figured that that was a worthy enough small animal fact, even though it's like 1,000 small animals or 10,000 small animals.
There are a lot of those things. Oh, I don't know. Aren't they in trouble? Aren't the honeybees in trouble?
Honeybees are in fact in trouble, yeah. But there's a lot of efforts that are currently being done to help them out. So like, hey, support your local beekeeper. That's really all I've got with that. Like, there's not a lot that can really be done other than like if you have a hornet's nest, removing the hornet's nest because hornets and bees don't get along. Same thing with wasps and bees, but like don't go killing honeybees. And like carpenter bees don't really fuck with honeybees, so there isn't really a problem there. And bumblebees, I just find them too funny and cute to want to bother with because they're just like bumbling idiots. Their stings hurt, but you know, hey, whatever. Don't fuck with them.
Don't fuck with his bees.
Bees. And so some of the shit that I learned as far as all that stuff goes was there was a Joe Rogan episode where there was this chick on that was just talking about bees, and she pronounced it like the honey bees, and it was the funniest thing. And I don't know why I'm remembering all of this stuff this week, but like, hey, here we are. So,
Somebody's
what
got
what is the
Ooh.
best social media to find you on, Joey?
Find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram, but I've been doing a lot of the TikTok stuff too, which has been going. But I'm kind of one of those guys. I just go with the flow. Like I'm not all about like followers. I kind of just like meet new people and like just having a good old grand time.
the best way to do it.
Yeah, and it's funny where that leads you. But what is the TikTok and the Instagram for all of the folks out there?
So it's all stripper TJ. My other Instagram is my my company, American Crawler Off Road. But
Oh, you have a company? You could have brought that up earlier, bud.
sorry.
Yeah. Well, now like we're here, so come on, spill the beans.
Yeah, so I own American Crawler Off Road and Fab. We're out of New Jersey or North Jersey. Um, it started with a going from a shop and completely not all there, and it was kind of like everyone's like, oh, it's impossible to start your own shop, and I was like, well, if it's impossible, we're gonna do it. So me and my good friend Jimmy, we kind of like got together and we were like, let's do this. And I gotta say, like, the best thing about it has just been meeting like new people that like want to get into the life of wheeling or like the whole game of it and not knowing where to go. So like seeing like a mom come in and doing like bumpers and a lift and just making her happy has kind of just been really enjoyable.
So, like, what's the number one thing that people come in and they're like, "Yeah, I've got no clue. What do I do here?" That you're picking up
The,
on.
the biggest thing is like a lot of these people, they just want to do bumpers. If I can get like a good bumper job in like back to back, it helps me like because it's kind of like I go check by check like all of us do, and it's just been like kind of like not enjoying it, but it's to the fact that it's like them coming in not knowing what they want to do, and it's like, all right, let's start with bumpers and a lift, and they come in, oh, I don't know what it's going to look like. They do it, and it's like, oh, they're in tears because they like it so much.
Now, are you talking about like installing one? Or are you talking about like
Yeah,
building them?
just the whole like installing, because like looking at something in a catalog then on the vehicle is two different things. So
Completely.
like
Yep.
they'll get it and be like, oh, like I like this bumper, but I don't know how it's gonna be. So it's like, all right, so let's do this. And like if we build it, we build it, and if we buy it, we buy it, and we're installing it. And it's just been kind of fun just doing simple bumper winches, grill jobs. But we do also do like the whole hardcore fab and things too.
hmm You gotta have some of that bread and butter work, though.
Yeah.
Yep. No, bumpers are huge. Like a bumper can make or break a vehicle too, especially versus like stock stuff. Like you put a
Yeah.
good bumper on something and just totally changes it.
Yeah, and Graham won't leave my fucking bumper alone when it's done nothing wrong.
I don't like that thing. It's ugly.
Oh, don't worry,
breaking
Luke.
your Jeep.
He'll have a new bumper to attack. Don't
Want me
worry.
to bring a Sawzall blade? I'll
Sure.
cut your bumper off.
Cool. Leave my bumper alone. It's great. It's not hurting anything or anyone.
It's hurting
It's
me.
just
It's hurting my
existing.
soul.
You don't have a fucking soul. You're a midget.
No, I'm not.
You can't say that, Luke. God, they don't like that. It's little people, man. Jeez.
All right.
Gosh.
You're a
Uncle's
little
gonna be
person
upset. You can't say it.
with no soul. Oh fuck. So like give us the scope though. Are you guys like doing the same level of work that you did to the stripper TJ on other stuff? Or are you just kind of like focusing
I-
more on the bolt-ons?
I
Like
do got one job with a whole 1 ton swap on a TJ. I do the whole bumper things. I do, but it's hard right now because like there are other places around me, so it's kind of like I don't want to say I got competition, but doing the whole bumper thing, I kind of enjoy. Depending on the day, because there's some days like I want to go in there and just bend tube all day. Then there's some days I just want to do like, oh, we're just doing tires on someone's truck.
Yep.
So it all, and I am technically like a one man shop. I do got my good friend Jimmy that helps me, but like he's also with his job too, so he'll just come out and help when he can. So like one person in a shop having three
it's a
jobs
lot.
back to back, it kind of gets hard, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
I mean, I respect that though. That's like a big commitment to have to sit down and be willing to make. It's not something that I'm willing to do.
Does the wife help you out?
Yeah, she does help me out a lot because she does do the whole decals and everything. So like we do like wraps, we do custom stickers. So like she does help me out on that part too. But like she does, don't get me wrong, she will come in the shop and like organize and help me clean, and I gotta say that's been a big help too. So that's a big thumbs up to her too.
Yeah, cleaning is always the worst, especially after like a big project where everything's just blown apart. You got
Yeah.
shit everywhere and crap all over the ground. You can't get it out till you can, or at least this is my experience working on anything, customer or my own. We used to have a little shop in Beverly, me and a buddy of mine. It's like you're knee deep in a big project, and it's just there's only so much you can clean underneath something, unless it's on a lift. But even then, it just can be messy.
Yeah, it does get messy, but I gotta say, like, I do got a good small friend group that are really supportive. So like they do help me out the best that they can. And like they don't ask for a lot. So like I gotta say, like, thumbs up to them too. But like it's also like Michelle has been a big help and like whatnot. So like it is good. So
That's sweet. I really wish you would have brought that up earlier, but hey, we're here. Um,
It's a whole storyline we missed out on.
yeah. Any nightmare builds?
as of right now, big nightmare build is probably mine.
I mean, well, that's like a given. It's always you're gonna hate your own rig. Working on Logan's shit's a lot more enjoyable than working on my shit.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, like, a big nightmare build is like, because like you'll have like some ladies come in and they're like, they'll constantly call you, be like, oh, well, we're gonna do this, and like then they'll call you back a half hour later. Oh wait, I don't want to do this. Let's do this. It's like, but I'm already halfway into it. Come on, really? So,
That
but like
sucks.
besides that, I don't get a lot of nightmares. Um, I did have a big issue with. I had a customer come in. They got I guess the spider rim locks, like bead locks,
Mhm.
and the bolts completely blew right out when I put air in them.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's my
So like,
biggest fear with beadlocks. Is I was like, I mean, I know they're like reasonably they shouldn't, but it's always in the back of my mind. That's fucking wild.
yeah.
What'd you
But
do? What
besides
happened
that,
with that?
everything's going smoothly.
Did they replace those wheels?
Yeah,
Sorry, I got.
yeah,
All right, all right.
they hooked
That,
me up and everything.
that's insane.
Yeah, I would have been I would have been heated. That's an understatement, if you will. So Stripper TJ on everything. The
Yeah,
Fab Shop's Instagram account is
American Crawler Off Road.
all right, and your wife's business.
My wife's business is just off for Instagram. That's Michelle XJ.
Okay, wanted to make sure that we got all those thrown in there. And
Yeah,
hey, recovery gear matters. So use code BCOP10 with Crawler Off Road to get you 10% off at checkout.
perfect. Thank you.